We are live. The red light is on. Dave Van Hawkins, Tuesday, October 14th. Grant Dawson, the month is flying by with 14th ranked lightweight in the world. Grant, how are you, sir?
I'm great, man. Thanks for having me on.
Of course, man. Of course. We always have to start the show with the Dawson. We'll have the other Dawson on later on, Pack Show. Michelle Montague, Michael as well in the second hour, G around 2 o'clock. So that gives me and you, Grant, like 50 minutes. Like this is some boy talk right here, some man talk. I love it. So it's gonna be pumped. But let's start with the moment of the hour, my friend. Especially in Fight Bananas land, people come all the time. Seems like they say, Grant, what's going on? What's happening with you? We got a fight news, my man. Pay-per-view December 6th. Grant Dawson is back.
Yeah, man. My last fight was in January, and a lot of time in between. Definitely not what I wanted. Definitely, I wanted to be the most active guy in the UFC. I don't think it's the UFC's fault. I don't think it's really anybody's fault, but it just you get what you get, and you don't throw a fit, I guess. So, almost an entire year later, December, I'll be back in the cage.
I thought about it in a weird way. It's kind of, I'm always at half glass. It's always half full for me. You start the year, on a big show, big pay-per-view with a win, and you can end the year on a big pay-per-view with the win. So that's cool. That's a good little bookend.
Yeah, I wish there was like 2 or 3 more fights in between that start the year and end the year. And it sucks because, I fought early January.
Yeah.
And it was like, oh man, there's no way I don't get 3 fights in this year. I might get 4. Like, this is awesome. And then, it just time starts ticking and you're like, hey, like, don't forget about me. Like, hey guys, I feel like my biggest problem is I get a big win. I get on a little hot streak. People start talking about me. I say the dump truck thing. Everybody's hot. And then I'm gone for too long and people kind of forget, which isn't their fault, but it's like, I got to figure something out where next year I can be more active.
Yeah. For sure. Hey, and everyone can't be Murad Davashvili, defend this championship 4 times. We'll get into that in a second. Mega card, UFC 323. Dana White just yesterday, just like usually it's the main event or main event and co. We got 9 fights yesterday, yourself included. Some other fights. We'll talk a lot about it, but I really want to stay more with you. I saw a lot on the interweb, and some of it was like awesome fight for Grant, great fight opponent, great matchup, all this. And then I did see some other stuff. I want to see what you saw or if you want to talk about on both sides of it, the positive of it. I also told some like Grant, like, hey, we need you. Why aren't you fighting number 7? Why are you not fighting number 9? Like, a lot of people wanted to see you fight up. I know you would want that too, but sometimes that's not how the cookie crumbles. Where are you at mentally just with the fight? And did you see both sides of it of like, oh, Grant, great matchup for you? But, wow, you're fighting outside the ranking once again.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be that guy that fights the dudes on 5-6 fight win streaks that are trying to get into the rankings, and I'm just going to keep building that win streak. And what's going to end up happening for me is I'm going to be on a card against some nobody, and there's going to be, Oliveira, Hooker, somebody like that who has an opponent drop out, and I step up. That's what it is. And I don't even blame these guys. I don't even blame these guys for not wanting to fight me. I'm way back in the rankings, so they don't want to fight backwards, and nobody really knows who I am. So I get that these guys don't want to fight me. I've come to peace with it. It used to really bug me. It used to really upset me. I used to say, like, I need to get more followers so that people will want to take these fights. But at this point, I'm just so used to it. I'm over it, like, so it is what it is. I'd rather fight frequently and consistently, which isn't even happening, that are guys outside the rankings than fight once a year against guys inside the rankings.
Right. And also too, like, We talked about it on air. I think even we talked about it off air. Sooner or later, Sean Brady said a great word, and we'll talk about that soon. Sean Brady versus Mike Morales is booked for UFC 322. That's the MSG show, headlined by Jack Della Maddalena and Islam Makhachev, your replacement. You said a couple times. He used that word undeniable. He's like, a lot of people are like, Sean, why did you take this fight? You could lose your spot. If you could just hang out, maybe sooner or later you'll get the title fight. And Sean's like two things. He's like, one, fighters fight. And he's like, two is, I want to be so undeniable. Like Bilal Muhammad kind of became that. He's to the UFC, not a big fancy fighter, not a ton of social media following back then, but he just became undeniable. He kept on fighting and winning. In the UFC, that's a hard thing to do. And pretty soon, I think you're going to be in that realm. I think it's a very good compliment of a Bilal Muhammad type of, like, you're just going to be undeniable. Like you fought everyone. Sooner or later, like you said, there's just going to be, you're going to have so many wins and so many wins in the division. You're going to be 13 out of 14, right? And instead of you having to beat 12, 10, 6, 4, 2, you're going to fight 4. Like you're just going to fight, Patty on a little bit of short notice, or Oliveira. Gamrot did it. And maybe if the fight date was different, maybe that's you in that spot instead of Gamrot. We'll talk about that fight in a second as well. But I feel like that's kind of maybe a little bit more your path. I do.
Yeah, and I'm cool with that. The scariest part is running out of time, because the stats say that once you're 35, your odds of winning a belt in the 55-pound division goes way down. And, there are outliers. Bilal Muhammad won it at 36, I believe, 37, 36. And then Volk just won it again, 30, 36, 37, around that area. So I'm not going to put anything past what God's plan is for me. I'm not going to put anything past what I can do or what I can't do, or what God wants for me. So it's fine with me. I'm just here to fight, man. I'm here to fight. I want to be a world champion. I want people to see me fight, and we got all of that. Other than the world champion part, we're getting there.
We're getting there. All right, let's talk about this past weekend. A friend, a teammate, Mateusz Gamrot, short notice, goes to Brazil. It stinks because I'll be brutally honest. He was the betting favorite, and all week I was like, oh, I kind of like it. Me and Elle talked about it on the show. I think you were there. We all had our thoughts. And then it was funny, after our show on Tuesday, around Wednesday or Thursday, this swell hit me. I'm like, shoot, I don't like it. The travel is very, very far. So it's not even like a short notice, and you still got a couple extra days, especially if you're in your own hometown, or even in America. You lose 3 days of that travel and time and getting ready, and you're cutting weight and all of that nature. Then also, let's just be honest, I thought Charles Oliveira looked as good as Charles Oliveira could look this later in his career. In Brazil, that extra juice, whatever you want to say, the it factor, I was like, shoot, it hit me. And I made a little video. I'm like, I'm starting to really lean Oliveira towards the end of the week. Here's the funny thing is, I don't think Gamrot looked bad at all. Like, I thought Gamrot looked good, some great scramble, especially in the first round. I just thought Oliveira looked amazing. He was a champion, future Hall of Famer. We talked about how popular he is off air and on air sometimes. Oliveira he's not that much better than what we saw on Saturday. He looked amazing. He really did.
Yeah, I do think that the travel and the short notice, Gamrot flew into American Top Team to prepare for a main event 8 weeks out. And then, day one that he's there, he gets this fight 2 weeks out. That's 1 week of training and 1 week of fight week. And you've also got the travel on top of that. I'm not trying to make excuses for him. I thought he looked good. I think that he went in with a little bit of a, how do I say this? I think he went in and took him down, which I agree with. And then he tried to play jujitsu. And the difference between a jujitsu guy and a smothering wrestler is the space available. And what that does is it gives you a little bit more exciting scrambles. It gets you a little bit more, fan friendly. But we saw with Arman Sarukian, if you just go in there and you smother him, You don't give him the space. You don't let him. And we saw it with Ilia Topuria as well. Ilia Topuria got the takedown and was just glued to him, passed the guard, beat him up, and then got out when he needed to. I think in the second round, he should have said, okay, I got to get him back down, and I just got to be a little tighter to him. Because the last thing that you want is Oliveira on top of you. So how you get rid of that is you take him down first.
Right. Yeah. Just crazy. I thought the scene afterwards, I don't know if you feel any of this or not. I thought I really loved the mutual respect by both men. I thought that was really cool. And then I just thought even Oliveira winning and all of that, it was a moment. I feel like we rarely get those in the UFC. There's travel and circus. It's a next week and next week and next week. Like, to me in Vancouver, even if RDR or Brendan Allen wins the main event, to me, it's not going to be a moment. I don't think. I think we're going to get a winner. Okay, cool. That's the next contender. Let's keep going. I felt that Brazil stopped, like the MMA world stopped on Saturday night and gave Charles Oliveira a moment with this kid in the ring and all of that. I thought it was a big deal. I thought it was maybe. You're ready for this one? Might be his last big win. Maybe.
I think it depends on who you match him up against. I think he still does well against somebody like Paddy Pimblett. I think he still does well against somebody like
how about like Max Holloway, like which they're talking about. What do you think?
Yeah, you guys are gonna call me crazy. I actually like that fight for Charles.
Okay.
We haven't really seen Max Holloway fight an incredibly big, strong jiu-jitsu style wrestler. Obviously they fought before, but that was a different Charles Oliveira. Charles got hurt early on in the fight. I'm down for this. I think people are going to be a little bit shocked about how well Max Holloway does in the lightweight division. He's obviously phenomenal, but I really think that if you give him a guy like Benoit, if you give him a guy like, myself, if you give him a guy like Gamrot, I think Max is going to struggle with these guys. And so I could see Charles Oliveira running through him. I could see Charles Oliveira running through Paddy Pimblett. Let's not forget that, he lost a split decision against Arman Sarukian, who's the number one ranked lightweight in the world right now. And rightfully so. The man is amazing. The man's really good fighter. And that was a close fight. There were a lot of moments where I was holding my breath for Arman. So I could see him maybe not making another run at the title, but I could see them being like, if we have a guy that we want to fight for the title, keep him away from Charles Oliveira.
Okay. I like that. I agree. He's got a guy like that in that caliber does not fight. His next 4 fights, and if he has 4 fights in the UFC, they're all mega fights. They're ginormous. They're Holloway, Pimblett, an Arman rematch, a Hooker. Maybe a Dawson at the end there. He's got 4 big fights in the lightweight division. So crazy to see. Anything else on Brazil grabbed your attention? Joel Alvarez is welterweight. How about Davison Figueiredo? Was a massive bet and underdog in the co-main event. Looked phenomenal.
I told you Davison was going to win. He was my underdog. I told you that he was going to win that fight. Yeah. I didn't even think it was split. I was surprised that it was a split decision in Brazil. I thought it was pretty obvious that he won 1 and 3. So that was surprising to me. Joel Alvarez, I think his stock goes up. A lot of people are saying, big finisher, didn't finish Luque, who's had some chin problems. Sure. I thought he looked great in that fight. I thought he looked phenomenal in that fight. Yeah. Really good, picking him apart, great knees, good grappling, stuffed a couple of really good shots. And now we know that he can fight hard for 3 rounds.
Yeah.
I thought he looked great. I thought that the welterweight division has a new contender. And I think that they should give him somebody in the top 15. Buckley.
I love that. I love that one. How about you? What do you think about Petrino?
I'm sorry, who?
Victor Petrino, the heavyweight.
Who did he fight?
Am I saying his last name wrong?
No, it's probably me. It's probably the CTE. If one of us has brain problems, it's definitely me. Who did he fight?
He got an awesome knockout, first round knockout. Brazilian. Yeah, here we go, SG. Victor Petrino.
Jack dude just about Thomas Peterson.
Oh, yeah. He looked really good.
Vitor, my fault. SG. Thank you, SG.
Yeah. The dude looks like Brazilian supermodel.
Yeah.
Brazilian bodybuilder. Yeah, that was scary. That was scary. Yeah, knocking out, Stingray from Cobra Kai. That's pretty That's pretty impressive.
Man,
Have you seen Cobra Kai? Do you get that reference?
Oh, yeah. So, no, that's what I watched the first 2 on Netflix. They were great. I think I missed the last one. There was 3 seasons, right?
There's 4 now.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I haven't even seen the 4th season. We're going to rewatch it here soon.
Okay, there we go. You know, so for one, I know you love this. I probably bring it up way too much. We had the girls had their first soccer game last night. So, dude, I think as a dad, I probably enjoy it more than the girls do, the kids do. I'm all jazzed up on it. So last night, couldn't go to sleep. I fell asleep and I woke up at 2 a.m. And Grant, I don't know if you do that. I woke up at 2 a.m. I was done. I was up. Couldn't go back to bed. So there's a new show on Hulu. It's like a sports show, a football show called Chad Powers. So I watched that for 4 hours yesterday morning. It was all right. But I don't want to waste good TV programming at 3 a.m. I'm one of those people I don't want if it's a good show, that's at 8, 9, 10, as soon as the kids go to bed. At 3 a.m., I just want something to watch or fall asleep to. So
Right.
I tried a new show. It was all right.
It was okay. But you spent 4. See, you're a better man than I, because if I'm not drawn in by the very first episode, I'm out.
Yeah.
That's my TikTok brain, though.
All right. UFC Vancouver, before we get into new fight announcements, this weekend, really good main event. RDR is the betting favorite. The guy's on fire. I'm probably a little bit too loyal to my people. I'm a kind of Brendan Allen guy, but he did say something, and I feel like I like what he said, and I want your 2 cents on it. He says, I don't see the special in RDR. I don't know what that special sauce is. Alex Pereira has the hook, right? You have your ground and pound, your wrestling, your grappling. Everyone has something a little special. He doesn't know what's the special for RDR. So what do you think about Allen and RDR?
I think what's special about him is he knows how to win fights.
Yeah, okay.
And that's not always the prettiest. That's not always the flashiest. It's not always the cleanest. But, we saw in the former champion, Dracus du Plessis, I used to preach up and down the street that dude was terrible. And I still think he looks terrible. In fact, I thought the most technical he looked was in the fight he got dominated in. So winning is a skill set, and it seems like RDR has that. He's massive, he's long, he's got good cardio, he's not afraid. I was much more excited for the Fluffy Hernandez fight, but that's just because I'm a huge Fluffy fan.
Sure.
But yeah, I'm interested to see how Allen's gonna do. I know he's your boy. He's not my boy. He's your boy, but I think he's in over his head a little bit on this one. I think that RDR is going to make quick work of him.
Yeah, no, I respect it. He's the betting underdog, and I can see that for sure. I think you make very valid points. I think all sports, not even fighting, in other sports, football and basketball, and someone just asked me a football question, I'll get to you in a soon, Christian. I'm devastated by it. But I think what you said is absolutely true. I'm going to take this to the next level. There are winners in life and there are losers in life. And sometimes it's a mentality. And I've been talking to Elle so much about it. Sometimes the door for the octagon locks. And yeah, sometimes the technique is beautiful and you use such a great underhook there. Sometimes there's just a bone in the middle of the cage and whoever gets it, gets it. There's just sometimes that's what it is. And RDR, like you said, knows how to get that bone. He knows how to win inside that octagon in 15 or in 25 minutes. And I think that is a skill. I do agree with you.
I'll do you one better. Sometimes it's a technique match and sometimes it's a who can get the bone. And what makes RDR special is he always turns that technique match into getting the bone. You have to fight him the way he wants to fight. And that there's something special about that. No,
it's very valid and good point for sure. Real quick, I know you're not the biggest football guy. Yes, Christian. So I'm a big Buffalo Bills guy. They were 4-0, best team in the league, undefeated. They lost 2 games in a row, both primetime games on Sunday night and Monday Night Football. Yeah, I don't know. I'm punked out about it. I'm punked out. I think this is a compliment. Really, is fight been as with these 2 handsome jets bringing the produce? Yeah. That's a doctor saying that, so I'm going to take that as a compliment.
You need a win. A win's a win. I need a win right now.
A win. Wins a win. Anything else on the Vancouver show? Co-main event: Kevin Holland, Mike Malott. I know we got Cheeto Vera versus Ariel Helwani's doppelganger. There's Fioro versus Jasmine Josevicius. So a couple good fights on the card. I like the card.
Yeah, it should be a fun night. It's hard to follow up the cards we've been having.
He'll win. He got a fight announced. Yes. Grant did get his fight announced. He did. No,
you have to watch the beginning of the show to find out who.
I love it. Sean, you're absolutely right. Like I got to stay humble in life. I got too braggy. I got too on my high horse. And, God took me down. There you go. He struck. I was too high on my horse for sure. All right, more stuff. UFC 323. So 321's in 2 weeks. I dogged the card. I'm not a big fan of it. It's during the day. I think I'm going to save my $90 and not get it. First time in a long time. I think I'm doing that. Probably not. All right. The next card, New York City. Cannot wait. One of the best main events you can make. Islam moving up. Jack Della Maddalena, maybe one of the most underrated champions in our sport. Great fight. Co-main event, Wei Lee and Valentina. Very fun. Let's see who's maybe the best female alive. Also just added to the card, Sean Brady versus Michael Morales. Take my money on that fight. Like, thank you, right?
Give me 5 rounds.
You said it should be 5 rounds?
Give me 5. Give me 5.
Yeah,
Give me a 5-rounder co-main event.
Yeah, that is a really, really, that's a great fight. Well, we'll backtrack to that in a second. So then this December 6th date was looming. And there was a lot of rumors about who would headline it. They actually announced the date. They usually don't do that until they have some fights. So this past weekend in Brazil, they announced that card, and it's in Las Vegas and all that nature. And then all of a sudden yesterday, we got 10 fight announcements. Even Chris Duncan and Terrence McKinney, Marvin Vittori, Bruno Ferreira. There's just been fight after fight after fight. And of course, we know Marab and Jan's the main event. Pantoja and Van's the co. A lot of great fights. A lot of really good fights were announced for that last pay-per-view in the ESPN era. And one cool stat, Grant, the ESPN era ends with Henry Cejudo on the card, and their first ever fight night on ESPN, Henry Cejudo was on it. Little bookend for Triple C.
Yeah, that's amazing. Wow, it all comes full circle. That's pretty cool.
Well. What grabbed your attention on UFC 23, or did all of it?
On the December 6th?
Yeah.
The first thing that came to my mind was, man, there's no way I'm winning bonus money.
Come on.
So
there's McKinney and Duncan's one of them.
Yeah, McKinney, they've already paid McKinney and Duncan their bonus money, so they're getting ahead of it. Great card. Definitely won't be on the pay-per-view. Definitely won't get a bonus, but I'm there to win. I'm gonna have a lot of teammates. There was another fight that I know about that's on that card that's pretty cool. I don't think it's announced yet, so I won't say anything. But pretty good fight too. I think a striker's delight, some would say. So I'm really excited about that one too. A lot of ATT guys heading up there.
A striker's delight. Wow. Okay. Wow. Grant Dawson.
Did Elle not tell you?
Huh?
Did Elle not text it to you?
No.
I'll text it to you after we get off, but I don't think it's announced yet, and I'm not getting in trouble, so I'm not saying.
One of the Dawsons take care of us. Did you? I liked how we didn't announce, or I don't know if you ever told Fight Bananas any information ever in the past. I do not know any of that, but I liked how Marcel made your post this time.
Right? Yeah, I still haven't announced it.
That guy can't get in trouble. That Marcel guy's 100 out of 100.
Like he always gets it right.
Oh yeah, it's if he announced it, it's like it's okay for the UFC. Like I think the UFC follows Marcel.
They make the matchups that he announces.
Yeah. If he makes it, it's good. Good question. Does the UFC like to book fighters from one gym together on one fight card?
I don't know.
I honestly think that it's a my personal take. They don't plan it. I just think it's circumstances. Sometimes it's trying to book dates. And also, let's just be honest, American Top Team has a lot of big names and good names. So it's the last show of the year, last pay-per-view of the year. They're just trying to stack the card that they did do. So I just think it's, it's a quiddickadink.
It's also probably like indicative about what gym we're talking about. Do they like putting a bunch of the fighting nerds on one card in Brazil together? Probably. Like,
yeah, good point.
They're all teammates coming off of losses. And
wow.
I'm kidding. I'm joking.
Whoa.
You're gonna get me mugged. No, but so if they're in Brazil,
just
I'm
try
sure
to spinning kick you. They won't mug you. They can't ground and pound or wrestle or anything. They'll try to spinning will kick you on the ground.
Hey, they might do it too. I'll just pull guard.
Gosh, oh man, we are the only podcast in the world that's a 1% anti-fighting nerds. I'm just honest. The whole MMA world fell in love with them, and dude, they have some good fighters, some like fun stuff, and some good characters. I just thought from the get-go, I'm like, come on, just give us a couple months. And I'm,
to be fair though, didn't you pick Rufy to beat Benoit? Didn't you pick Rufy on that fight? I did. I absolutely picked Rufy to win that fight.
Maybe. I'm not the biggest Benoit Saint Denis guy. I'm really not.
Yeah.
He did look good in that fight. You got to give him credit for winning that fight for sure. But there's been a couple fights he's a bully type fighter. And if you stop the bully from bullying you for a second, I feel like he melts. If he's not the hammer and if he's the nail for a second, Poirier's been the nail and the hammer in the same round. Benoit, as soon as he starts to become the nail, he kind of melts. That's my take.
I thought he looked good.
Grant versus BSD after Grant wins in December, hopefully by finish.
I got a call out in December, so.
Does it rhyme with Randler?
It does.
Man, the White House in front of the President of the United States of America versus Randler. That's a great fight. That's so funny. That's my next note for you. You ready for this one? I keep on seeing, in June, UFC is going to the White House, the 250th anniversary of America. Maybe it's on President Trump's birthday. A lot of dates being fun about, but it's in June. And you keep on seeing all these dream cards or dream fights, and you keep on hearing names like John Jones and Ronda Rousey and Francis Ngannou and Nate Diaz and Conor McGregor. You hear all these names. And over the weekend, I was like, some of those names are great for the sport, and I've always been very friendly to, hey, any eyes on this sport, I'm happy with. Because if you're on that card versus Randler and Francis is fighting Aspinall in the main event, that's good for you because that's a big fight, whatever. Or Nagano versus Jones, whatever you want to say. But I thought about it more and more. There's a little part of me, it's like, this is a kind of a little bit of a love letter of the UFC to America. Like, this is maybe going to be the most watched fight in the UFC history. And there's a part of me that feels like, I know those guys have done stuff in the past to deserve it, but if Ronda Rousey and Miesha Tate gets a fight, and if Francis gets a fight, who's been in the PFL talking crap about the UFC for the last 4 years, if all these guys get fights, how about all the guys putting their ass on the line? If it's RDR or Marab or all these guys fighting 5 times and whoever, there's a ton of guys. Like I said, Chris Duncan put war after war after war. If he beats McKinney, he's in the top 15, top 17, right? There's all these guys that are putting their ass on the line now for the UFC, and for them to get kind of washed over by Nate Diaz. It's like, I think I would be a little bit bummed out. And I think it would be a little bit of a misstep of the UFC to favor these very veteran type of old guys that might have 1 or 2 fights left on their existence. Am I wrong on that? Is that a bad take?
You're not wrong. Can I let you in on a little hot take that has been on my mind lately?
Give it.
And I want to choose my words carefully here, because all it takes is somebody clipping this and sending it to Uncle Dana, and then Grant's cut from the UFC. I am worried that they have hyped up this card so much that there is very little chance that they can put realistic fights on that will deliver. So for example, if the main event is John Jones versus Tom Aspinall and the co-main event is Michael Chandler versus Conor McGregor, we're off to a damn good start. However, I don't see either of those fights happening. And I just, if you try to tell me, like, come up with a main event that you would be happy about having the White House card that does not include John Jones, it does not include Conor McGregor, and does not include Francis Ngannou. Because I don't think all three of those guys any of those guys are going to fight on this card. If not one of those guys are on this card, it's going to kind of feel like a small letdown. Yes, no, maybe so.
No, you're spot on. It's kind of what happened with UFC 300. All these kind of main events kind of fell out, and then we got Alex versus Jamal Hill. So, it could happen. The one fight, and I was supposed to have it up, and I forgot to send it to our stream right here. The fight that I think could happen, and I know everyone keeps on saying the American thing, and I get it, but I do think if we have Kayla Harrison and Sean Strickland and Grant Dawson and Sean Brady and Colby Covington, if we have 7 Americans before it, I do think the main event, and I think it should be the main event, if Islam wins in November, Ilya wins in January against blank, Gaethje or Patty, doesn't matter. If both of those guys win, and both of those guys are champion of the welterweight division and the lightweight division, and there's a little rivalry there, I think they open up the bruiserweight champion at 165 pounds, the first ever championship, and both those guys are champs, and they fight for a vacant title, and one of them will become a double champ live on that night. Ilya versus Islam will be, to me, the biggest and the right fight to main event our sport, the UFC, at the White House.
I'm down for that. And it does frustrate me, all the talks of, there has to be an American this, there has to be an American that. I just want to see a banger card. I don't care if half of them are Russians and the other half are Brazilians. I just want to see a banger card. And that is the American dream. That is the American value. You come here legally, I might add. You come here legally, you can create a better future for you. So I don't care if you're, from Brazil or from Russia or from Italy. As long as you're going to come here and put on a banger of a fight, I'm in. Let me have it. Put Chris Duncan and what's his name, Sturovic or whatever, the guy that just fought Elvis Brenner. I can't. You know who I'm talking about. I can't think of his name.
Yeah.
Those guys are both bangers. Like, neither of them are American. Throw them on there. I'm in. Yeah. I'm just worried that we're going to be so focused on, who's the American versus the American, or who's this versus that. Just give me a good card. And I'm telling you guys, John Jones is not fighting Tom Aspinall. Rabovics, thank you. John Jones is not fighting Tom Aspinall. John Jones is not fighting Francis Ngannou. And I'm going to tell you right now, I might be wrong about this one, but I highly doubt it. Conor McGregor is not fighting on the White House card. I have a $1,000 bet with a friend of mine that Conor McGregor is not on that card.
Really?
I do, yeah. Wow. His name rhymes with Honey Mordano.
Not a good hint. I need another one.
Money Macchiano.
That guy I know. But he could fight on that card. Like again, they were just in Brazil and they main evented with Oliveira against, Gamrot, who's not American or Brazilian. And they had other fights in the card. Every fight wasn't Brazilian.
There was only 2 that weren't Brazilian.
No, I mean, but both guys Brazilian. We don't need Sean Brady versus Sean Strickland, to guarantee America. I don't understand. And again, I think that's a great dude. You've had 3 or 4 of them this show. If we just did 15 American white males, it's just that's not. I hate that. That's not America. That really isn't. How great of a story is if Joshua Vant wins this fight, and Pantoja is one of the best fighting flyweight champions of all time, and it's a 5-round war. Tell me if Van versus Pantoja doesn't get on this card in June. You know what I mean? Like, there's so many fight opportunities. Again, I do think we're going to see Kayla versus Amanda. I think that's pretty locked in. But I think there's a lot more. I think people are really tunnel vision about these. I don't want to see Ronda Rousey versus Holly Holm on this card. I know it sounds very Homer of me. I'd rather see Dern versus Jillian. Like, I'd rather see the next generation. If Weili wins this fight and Weili went to strawweight to flyweight, whoever the flyweight number one contender is, maybe it's Blanchfield. I want to see Weili versus Blanchfield on this card.
Yeah. You know,
this is a good one. Fluffy versus Strickland. Love it.
That's the one. That's the one.
Yeah.
You know,
great.
There is somebody that nobody has mentioned. Picture this.
Picture.
They're playing the trailer for the fight, right? You know, we've got our main event set. We've got our co-main event. There's 4 title fights on the card. And all these fights are announced. They have this big, epic trailer going like they used to do back in the day before Dana White just started announcing them on his live Instagram. Everything's epic. Everybody's super excited. And then the screen goes dark. And all you see is the silhouette of a massive human being with a big beard and a sword on his chest. And it's Brock freaking Lesnar coming back for one more UFC fight. Wow. I don't even know who you put him up against. You could put him up against the cameraman, and I'm watching.
No, you're right. Like, people are going to hate Brock Lesnar versus Francis Ngannou. Sign me up for that.
Book it.
Sign me
up. But I mean,
that.
if they get Francis Ngannou back, they're not going to waste him on Brock Lesnar. They're gonna try to get him somebody.
Yeah, Sean,
like Jones.
Another one. I totally agree. If Brady wins, it'll be Sean Brady versus Jack Della, or Sean Brady versus Islam.
That's a great fight, because that's America versus Russia. Like, that's assuming Islam wins, that's an amazing fight. I love that. I'm always down for a Sean Brady brawl.
Yeah, so there's and again, Joe Pfeiffer, Bo Nickel. There's a lot more. Like, people are so, I think they're very tunnel vision. And also, you're right, guys, we're going to get to it. Like, I feel like it's talked about a little bit too much, and maybe we're a little bit of the problem, but it's out there everywhere. So it's like, I just got to, here's my 2 cents on it. You know what I mean? It's just,
the card is too hyped. The card is too look forward to. I don't think that they can deliver, not because it's not an amazing card, not because it's not the best card we've ever seen, but because it's so built up in your head. You know, you're right now you're like a
Cain Velasquez versus Junior Dos Santos 4. If we don't see it, we're gonna be upset.
Right, exactly. Oh, they didn't have jets flying over each fight with the national anthem, sending down fireworks and lollipops to everybody. Like, what is this, amateur hour? Like, it's too hyped up right now. I think we need to calm down about it.
I totally agree. Also, let's just be, I think that January date's a big date for him. Like, that the White House, and I know they said they're going to make it amazing, and I do think it's going to be a great card. The card is also going to sell itself. The White House, the smoke, the mirrors, America will sell itself. I think that January, I think it's 13th. I saw the date, or January 12th. The first time they come back, because they always go away for 2 weeks at the end of December. First 2 weeks in January. That Saturday is the first time on CBS, Paramount Plus. Everything is talking about the Ilya Topuria. It will fight one of those guys. He will be the main event. I also think we're going to see, if it's not Volkanovski, we're going to see maybe could be the middleweight champion. I don't know. There's going to be a lot of different options there that we're going to see a lot of stuff. It's Chimaev, one of the female champions.
Give me Chimaev versus Alex.
At what weight?
205.
For the title?
Doesn't have to be the main event. What's that?
For the title?
Yeah. Well, Alex is the champion. Give him.
I feel like there's one. Yeah, I don't know how you feel about it. Yuri Prohaska, like absolutely. I really, really loved watching him fight. Did I butcher the last name?
No, I'm just going.
Did I butcher it?
No,
Prohaska?
it's not the name. Are you about to tell me you want to see a man that's been knocked out by this guy twice already get knocked out about a third time?
No. I'm actually not. My point was I want to see him fight more. I was always a fan of his fights. Now I'm a fan of the man, the fighter, more than ever. I'm a massive Yuri fan. Yuri could fight Glover Teixeira too in the rematch. Sign me up. I want to see him fight. If it's him and Olberg, what happened if Poatan wants to really move up? He's in heavyweight. How about Olberg and Yuri as a big title fight in January on that card? I'm just throwing out some different options.
I am finally at the point where if they said Alex Pereira versus John Jones, I would say okay. Like I want to see it. He's shown me, like, you know, he's got ups, he's got downs. Everybody has off nights, but when that dude is on, that dude is on. And I want to see him. If he said, "Hey, I'm going up to heavyweight and I'm going to fight John Jones for the #1 pound for pound belt," I'm in. Let's do it.
I agree. Getting some soccer updates. Dude, we got a big game tonight, Grant. Dylan's first game, 7:30 on the East Coast. Big game.
You said soccer updates.
Yeah.
I thought you said stalker updates. And I was like, is your family okay? Like, does Uncle Grant need to come visit? Like, what's going on?
You're in training camp right now. You're a little at edge. You know, you got finally a fight announcement. Man, I talked to so many, and it just seems like it's the biggest relief. It to be like, hey, I got that date, permanent black marker, whatever it is. I think it just seems like every time I talk to Jillian about it too. Yeah, sometimes you maybe wanted to be sooner, or maybe even a different name, but you still feel at ease that you have that date booked. It seems like it's always a good thing.
There's purpose in your life now.
There you go. There you go.
Especially for men, it's really hard for men without an end goal and I'm gonna fix this, and then we're gonna go see how well I've done. You know, it's both a relief and terrifying and amazing all at the same time. I wouldn't trade this life for anyone.
Right. When you get that name, even when it's floated to you, if it's a week ago, 2 weeks ago, or just even that date, how quickly do you watch one fight or all of his fights? Do you not at all? Do you send everything to your coach? Well, how quickly do you start to prepare for the name now, Manuel Torres?
Yeah, it's different for everybody. If I get a name where I'm not sure who it is, which is very rare, but when I do get a name where I'm like, I don't recognize this name, I'll start watching more film. I've known Emmanuel Torres for a long time. I've been watching him since he knocked out Mota with that big jumping elbow. I've said that he's going to be good. He's going to be tough. And I could see myself fighting him. So I've really seen all of his fights. I've prepared for him, you know, not in the sense of like I was fighting him, but in the sense that I could fight this guy someday.
Yeah.
You know, I'm ready. I'm going to go in. And the older I get, the less film I watch. Not because of confidence, not because I'm just tired. I train so hard and I work so hard during the day. I just don't have time to come home. I like to be at home and you know, think about something that's not fighting. And, you know, it's helped me out a lot. I said it to my coaches. I trust them. I trust they know what they're doing. I trust that they're going to come up with a good game plan for me. And I'm just going to go out there and fight.
I love it. This could be the absolute best comment of the show so far. From our main man, Jake Nichols, goes, Grant and McGregor both off the coke for the next few months.
This is my last week.
This is the last week?
Yeah. We got 8 weeks. I'm actually pretty low. I'm way lower than I normally am. So I've got a little wiggle room. I'm going to enjoy this week with my wife, my family. Chris Duncan's in town. He just brought his family, so we're all going to get together and you know, do some eating this weekend, and then the boys are in camp.
Wow. How cool is it that I feel like, and dude, your wife has been talking about this fight for a year. Chris Duncan versus Terrence McKinney. Seems like that one always calls out the other one. And it usually does seem like it's very respected. Like, hey, this guy's a banger. He's a banger. Like, I want to do this. Like, it seems like they want to. They've always kind of just missed dates very shortly after the other one. Both of them are on a good run, maybe best run of their UFC careers. And now finally meeting on this date. That's pretty cool. That's a fun fight.
Yeah, it's definitely it's fight of the night is out the window because they're getting it. Chris has just improved so much, and he really has taken his game to a different level. He was always good, but now he's top 15 good. And I think in a year he's going to be top 10 good. And I think in a year after that he's going to be top 5 good. He's really shown. I don't think Rembetsky gets enough credit. I wish people knew how good Mateusz Rembetsky was because they are not giving Chris enough credit for beating that savage.
Yeah, great point. Once again. Question for Grant goes, Grant, do you get headaches when you have to stop drinking Coke, or do you use other things to help out?
No, I don't get headaches. I do get a little crankier though. For me, food and caffeine is not like a necessity. It's more of a boredom thing. When I get bored, I like to have little stimulants that give me energy, and I like Coke. It tastes really good. So for me, it's more of like I'm bored. I'm a little hungry. I don't have anything to do for the next couple of hours. I don't have the energy to go to do something fun. I want a snack, and I can't have a snack.
Yeah.
That's where it gets frustrating. I don't get headaches. I don't get like cranky or upset. I mean, I do, but it's because I'm hungry, not because I don't have my Coke or anything like that.
When you that's a good one. Don't overuse the Zen.
Hey, that one might. I'm worried about that one actually. So
yeah, drinking Coca-Cola is Grant's hobby. That's a good one.
I know, and then when I do my job, I can't do my hobby. It's frustrating, and I just kind of gave up Yu-Gi-Oh recently, so that's I just don't have anything to do.
Oh, dude, let's see. So I got yours is in the mail, but I think I'll show her this. She'll be pretty pumped. So I got a refractor
Nice.
to rookie card, Jillian Robertson refractor that just came in the mail.
Nice.
Yeah, this is the one I'm telling you. We Baccarat gold at a 50.
Have you seen? Oh wow, that's really nice.
Yeah.
Have you seen the card I had made for L?
No.
Have you not seen it? So I have this on
Yeah, show this
the
out.
wall. So it's like I don't know if you can see if here, let me can I turn the camera around? No, I'm not gonna mess with it. I don't know if you can see it, but this is me and her hugging, and then on the back is her there we go. Is her winning one of her fights. So I had that made.
It's a trading card?
Yeah. I had somebody
Awesome.
online reached out and was like, "Hey, I make cards. I'll make one of you if you want for free. Just post about it." And I was like, "Yeah, absolutely." And it looked really good. So I messaged him and was like, "Hey, can you make one of my wife and I'll pay you for it?" And he was honestly like, "No, I'll just make it for her. That's fine." I was like, "Nah, dude, I'll pay you for it." So I paid him for it, and it's a really nice card.
Yeah. Can you still have that guy's information?
I can find it and I'll send it to you.
Yeah, that'd be great. I would love that.
Yeah.
We'll do a
Yeah. He does a good job, and the cards are really nice. And then it came in like a week.
So I think it's I'm definitely with me being older than you. When I was a kid, trading cards, especially for basketball, baseball, and football, was like the craze. Everyone did it. But you're 8 years old. We are very middle class America, so we just didn't have a ton of extra money. So I had a couple, and now I'm older and middle class, a little bit of extra money once in a while. So like I started getting some, and yeah, maybe I have a lot of Grant Dawsons and Jillian Robertson behind me, but we're getting a lot of UFC cards. But now both of my boys are getting into sports again, basketball, baseball, football, a little bit, also UFC. My son's favorite card is Grant Dawson. But they so every now and then, or not every, probably the last 5 times I go to Target, we like stop through the card collection and they have packs and we get a pack every time. And it's like back in the day, there used to be $1 or $2 or $3 packs. Packs are like $8, $9, or $10. It's like a $10 every time.
And you're not getting shit in them.
Yeah,
You're getting 2 Jordan Levitts. No, one of the worst things that ever happened to me. What's that?
What happened to that guy?
He won his last fight.
Wow, really?
He looked good. It was this year. All right. One of the worst things that happened to me was I got adult money and I still act like a kid. So it's I see things and I'm like, hey, I can afford that.
Yeah, I have 4 kids and I'm still just a big adult, just a big.
So your wife has 5 kids?
Yes, absolutely. God bless her. I don't know how she does it, but
hey, Elle and I are planning on having 7, so we'll be right there with you.
Better start soon, young man. Better start soon.
Hey, she's flying to Vegas. I tell this joke all the time. She's flying to Vegas for my fight without a baby. She might be flying back with one.
Oh man, dude, am I coming to this fight on December 6th?
That's up to you.
All right.
We'll talk off air.
Yeah, we'll talk off air. Talking about off air. I'm not even going to give her a ton of time in the green room. She's going to be super upset because she fights on December 13th. Our man right now on air